Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear students of Master's final year, how are you doing? In our today's class, I will read section 24 titled Walt Whitman of Song of Myself and later I will tell you I will tell you the interpretation and critical appreciation of this section, and I will also tell you the explanations of a few lines. Let me first read this wonderful section 24, titled Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman, a cosmos of Manhattan the sun, turbulent, fleshy, sensual, eating, drinking, and breeding. No sentimentalist, no standard of men and women or apart from them, no more modest than immodest. Unscrew the locks from the doors, unscrew the doors themselves from their jambs. Whoever degrades another degrades me, and whatever is done or said returns at last to me. Through me the afflatus surging and surging, through me the current and index. I speak the password primeval, I give the sign of democracy. By God, I will accept nothing which all cannot have their counterpart of on the same terms. Through me many long dumb voices, voices of the interminable generations of prisoners and slaves, voices of the diseased and despairing, and of thieves and dwarfs, voices of cycles of preparation and accretion, and of the threads that connect the stars and of wombs and of the father stuff. Let me skip a few lines, as this is a pretty long poem having 60 plus lines, and let me now leave a few lines and read from here. Copulation is no more rank to me than death is. I believe in the flesh and the appetites. Seeing, hearing, feeling are miracles, and each spirit and tag of me is a miracle. Divine am I inside and out, and I make holy whatever I touch or am touched from. The scent of these armpits is aroma finer than prayer. These had more than churches, Bibles, and all the creeds. If I worship one thing more than another, it shall be the spread of my own body, or any part of it. Translucent mold of me, it shall be you. Shaded ledges and rests, it shall be you. Firm masculine culture, it shall be you. Whatever goes to the tilth of me, it shall be you. You, my rich blood, your milky stream, pale strippings of my life. And now let me skip a few lines and read from here. A morning glory at my widow satisfies me more than the metaphysics of books. To behold the daybreak, the little light fades the immense and diaphanous shadows. The air tastes good to my palate. Hefts of the moving, railed at innocent gambols, silently rising, freshly exuding, scooting obliquely high and low. Something I cannot see puts upward libidinous prongs. Seas of bright juice suffuse heaven. The earth by the sky stayed with the daily close of their junction. The heap challenge from the east, that moment over my head. The mocking taunt, see then whether you shall be master. And let me, my dear students, tell you the meaning of some difficult words. Cosmos means vastness of the universe. Turbulent means riotous. Sensual means pleasure of the senses. Sentimentalist refers to an emotional person. Afflatus means poetic or religious inspiration. Interminable means endless. Accretion means total. Translucent means transparent. Diaphanous means transparent. Gambols means jumps or leaps. Exuding means oozing. And Obliquely means slanting, and libidinous means lustful, and a state means sober or quiet. And now I will tell you the interpretation and critical appreciation of this wonderful section. The title of the section itself is evidence of the fact that it is autobiographical and in nature. And when the poet speaks about himself, it means that he is autobiographical in his statement. His self rises to cosmic proportions. He belongs to Manhattan. He calls himself turbulent, fleshy, sensual. He considers himself one with the others. He is not separate from the rest of humanity. He is not a sentimentalist but a realist. He is a democrat. He addresses himself a cosmos. It conveys so much. He identifies himself with everything in the universe. His self includes all that is there in the universe. The universe becomes the self. He is like any other being, eating, drinking, as well as indulging in the pleasures of the senses. He is a non-believer in ancient customs. He does not want the modern man to be a prisoner bound by ancient chains. He wants everyone to unscrew the locks from the doors and unscrew the doors themselves from the jams. He wants everyone to welcome the new view of a democratic way of life. He wants people to be broad-minded and open-hearted and candid. He identifies himself with the others. He wants this feeling of identification to be reciprocal amongst the humankind. He becomes the voice of the interminable generations of prisoners and slaves, of the diseased and despairing, and of thieves and dwarfs. He asserts their right that they must also get an equal say. That is possible only in a democracy where all the people have equal say. He recognizes the inherent dignity of every individual. While describing the individual, he considers the body and the soul equally important. He asserts that every part of the human body is equally important and sacred. The sexual aspect also gets a sacred touch at the hands of the poet. He glorifies copulation as it is the ingredient of procreation. Copulation is as important as death. One is not superior to the other. Death is not the final ending to life, but it is a lease for the next birth, the rebirth. He celebrates all this and says, "Divine am I inside and out, and I make holy whatever I touch or am touched from. The scent of these armpits is aroma finer than prayer. This hate more than churches, Bibles, and all creeds." From this line onward, the poet uses sexual images and words describing whatever he sees. He becomes the worshipper of his own body and soul and considers it superior to the churches and Bibles. This aspect has made many critics accuse Whitman of pride and arrogance, but his glorification of the body is indirectly the glorification of the divine. He recognizes the greatness of God as witnessed in all the creations in the universe. In glorifying himself, he glorifies everyone, and automatically he sings of the greatness of the Creator, the Almighty God. This section concludes with the poet's vision of the mating of the earth and the sky. He says, "Something I cannot see puts upward libidinous prongs, sees a bright to suffuse heaven." In describing this sacred union, the poet emphasizes the fact that there is nothing indecent or impure in copulation. Thus, Whitman shows that sex is something sublime and holy. He is proud of his body and soul. He glorifies the maker of the universe, the omnipotent God. All human aspects, including sex, get a touch of sanctity at the hands of the broad-minded citizen of the world, Walt Whitman. And now, my dear students, let me tell you the explanation of these wonderful few lines. Divine am I inside and out, and I make holy whatever I touch, or am touched from. The scent of these armpits is aroma finer than prayer. This head more than churches, Bibles, and all the creeds. These lines discloses the sacred element which every part of the body has. There is a halo of sanctity to whatever the poet sees or touches. He considers himself to be divine inside and out. He glorifies the body and the soul. He considers them more sacred than the churches, Bibles, and prayers. It does not mean that the poet is self-centered or whimsical. While singing of himself, he sings of the entire mankind. While singing of the entire mankind, he glorifies the maker of the universe, the Almighty God. He automatically sings of the greatness of God. And my dear students, this autobiographical section glorifies democracy, and the poet glorifies himself, but his self rises to cosmic proportions. And I hope you will enjoy this section. And with these few words, I would like to wrap up my discussion for today. Thank you very much.